Hello everyone, and thanks for joining to another episode with Boy and myself. And today guys, we're going to work on the down command. Now the down command is another command that everybody pretty much going to teach their dog at some point, and everybody wants their dog to know how to lay down on command. Super important thing, because a lot of time your dogs get jumpy or excited, and that's exactly the place where you need to put him. Instead of your dog jumping, you ask him to lay down, and he really can understand that jumping or doing something like that is not okay, and he has to lay down and relax. So today we're just going to work on how to teach the dog the actual positioning, the verbal command, and what he needs to do in order to get the reward. You have to remember, the more commands that your dog know, the more tricks that your dogs know, it gives you a more confident dog, because a dog that can do stuff, he has a certain skill, he has a certain job that you can always ask him to do, and dogs love doing it. Because if you're out and about with your dog and he's acting naughty, instead of just yelling at him, stop this, stop that, we can give him command. Your dog knows what it means, and he knows that he has to do it. So let's just go through how we're going to teach our dog to lay down perfectly. So like with every position, I'm just going to put a leash on Boy just to make sure that he's not going to run away from me, but he's not going to run away. The way that we're going to teach our dog to lay down, like with every single simple position, we're going to start just by shaping the behavior. And what I mean by that is just that we're going to lure our dog into the position without saying any word, without adding any cue to it, until he does it nicely and smoothly and understanding what he needs to do to get the reward, which is in this case the treat. And once he does it nicely and perfectly, we can start adding the cue, the verbal cue, or even the hand signal that you want to have for this specific skill. And in this case, it's going to be our lay down. So how we're going to do it is we're going to show our dog the treat. We're going to lure him with it a little bit, see that he actually wants to follow it. Come on. And with the lay down, all that we're going to do is we're going to take the treat and put it in between our dog's feet in direct line. So you sort of have to go down. Yes! And as soon as our dog's elbows touch the ground, you mark the behavior and you fit him. And we're going to do that again. Come on. I'm not saying anything. I'm just taking the treat, put it in between his legs. Yes! At first, it might take you a while for the dog to understand what you want. He might be trying to sit, he might be trying to give you a handshake, to pull your hand, whatever. But all you need to do is to put the treat in between in his nose and take it down in between his legs. Yes! And you're just gonna wait until your dog is laying down. And we're gonna keep doing that for a few times until our dog's getting really nice and smooth. Come on. Come on. Yes! Good. After your dog does that nice and smooth, we can start adding the verbal cue. It's the same as we did before. We're just gonna add the verbal cue just before we putting our hand down. So it's gonna be something like that. Down, down, yes, good. So we're gonna say the word, and after half a second, we're gonna do the hand signal that we just did before. But we're gonna say the word a half a second before, just so our dog can pay attention to what we're saying instead of just focusing on the food. That's gonna help your dog to really understand that the relationship between the word, the sound that you're saying, to the action that he has to do in order to get the reward, which in this case has to lay down. So I'm gonna do it again. Boy, down. Yes, good boy. And we're gonna do that again. We're gonna repeat that same thing again until your dog's really understanding that down means that he has to lay down. So down, yes, good boy, good. And you can repeat that again a few times until your dog gets really, really fluent with the down, and you see that he knows straight away that he needs to lay down. And what we can do at this point is, instead of actually luring him, we can hold the treat in the other hand and do exactly as we just did, but without food in our hand. So the dog is not really following the food, he's following your hand gesture and the verbal command that you're saying. So it'll be down, yes, and I'll feed him with the other hand. And we're gonna do that again. Boy. Boy. Down. Yes. And I'm gonna fit him with the other hand. That really helps your dog to understand and listen, understanding that he has to lay down every time that you're saying down. After you repeat that exactly same thing for a few more times, you can start trying and see if your dog will lay down without you doing, leave it. You can start and see if your dog will lay down just by the verbal command, which is our final product, which will be boy, boy, down, yes, good boy. And that's the part when you know that your dog really understands what the down means, what the command means, and what does he have to do in order to get the reward. So it's really not a complicated thing. When you're first trying it, your dog might be a bit stubborn and won't understand exactly what you want him to do. So just keep doing the same thing. So you're just holding your hand down between his legs, holding him with the leash so he can't run away. So you're just holding it between his legs until he's going down. So he has to figure out pretty much what he has to do in order to get the reward. And then we just have to keep working on the same thing, add a cue to it, add a word to it, just be consistent with it, make it really easy for the dog to see what you're doing. Do exactly the same thing every time until your dog just understands it, and you can just give him a hand signal or a verbal command in order to him to perform the action that you want him to do. And that's pretty much how you're gonna work with it. Start somewhere without distraction for your dog so it can be really easy for him to give you 100% of attention. Keep it nice and short, so start from like 5 to 10 minute sessions. Just work on the same thing. And as soon as you finish the training, maybe do a little fun play or something so your dogs really associate training with fun. He always knows that after training something fun happens. So he will be really, really happy to train with you because he knows that it's exciting and something good is gonna happen. Please practice that with your dog. It's another thing for him that he can perform and another way of you to communicate with your dog and obviously improve your relationship between you and your dog. So let me know if it works for you, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's gonna be very nice of you. Hopefully I'll see you in the next session. So goodbye for now and thank you guys.